one of the first games from a ex-Blizzard staff team has came out, or at least been, unveiled.
Unveiled, yeah. It's not,
And that
it's
is Marvel Snap, which is from Second Dinner. That is the studio formed by Ben Brode, who was the game director, I believe, of Hearthstone.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, and when he left, a few people came with him, and it has turned into this. They got a good whack of millions, and they founded Second Dinner in 2018. They have now announced Marvel Snap in a sort of slick video. There he is, a face that
he is as full of energy as ever.
Yeah, he totally is. So
it looks well too.
Basically, it is a quick, fast card game. I think that's why Snap is there in the name.
Maybe it's literally Snap.
Also could be that. Well, you know what, Matt? It's time to find out. So, game overview. Right. Super fast games. No more waiting. Every game is around 3 minutes. They cut the fluff out, focus on the good stuff, they say. Every match feels different. Play your cards at 50 plus locations from across the MCU. With,
but isn't it set in the real world?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's everything else, but still, one of the locations is New York.
And I guess what's cool is the different locations have like different abilities and things. So there's actual gameplay variance with that. So I think that's an absolute strength. Right, snap to raise the stakes. If you feel confident about your chance of winning, you can snap to raise the stakes during a match. Even if you're bluffing, you could double your rewards.
Yes.
Right, then of course you're collecting and upgrading cards. As one would expect, with daily, weekly, and monthly updates. So
Daily
new
updates.
cards, locations, cosmetics, season passes, ranked seasons, new challenges, missions, and things coming regularly.
Nice.
So looking at these, suppose we can take a look at some of the card text. On reveal, your opponent can't play cards at this location next turn. Replace this location with a random new one.
Interesting.
Your other cards at this location have +1 power.
Card games?
Yeah, card games, and I guess it's that they have a different, perhaps this is not looking like a Magic the Gathering, a game with Magic in its DNA, and maybe that's what's going to make it feel new and fresh.
I big time suspect if you're Second Dinner, you're not going to be like, hey, Marvel, we'll make you a Hearthstone.
Yeah, totally.
They'll be like, hey, Marvel, we'll make you a card game. We made Hearthstone, so we really know card games.
Yeah, and Hearthstone was successful because it decided that it was a digital card game.
Yeah.
Therefore, there are mechanics you can only do in a digital card game because they'd just be unwieldy in real life.
Yeah.
So Hearthstone was that nice... I mean, I don't mean reduction as a negative way. I mean, making a sauce in a pan, like a nice reduction of Magic into a more sort of fast-paced, things go boom sort of card game. And I guess the lessons that they learned, the positive lessons, they're just going to take those to the extreme with this.
Yeah, sorry, I was laughing because I imagined, you said about, digital only mechanics. I imagined having to roll for every arcane missile, like its target. So, you'd roll a dice to see which target to hit. But for one of those decks where you fire off 30 to 40 to 50 arcane missiles. I don't even know if there's ever an arcane missile based one, but the random spells. I suppose that's another example. It's you pick a random spell. How do you do that in a physical card game? I guess you don't. That's the point.
So as we look here, then you can see, we've got. Whoa, I am. My video box is in Ben. So here's the locations. Right here's the hand. So the location has.
I'm so
okay.
confused.
Interesting. So you are playing different card power levels and stuff at the different locations. So the game is playing out in 3 different fronts. And I suppose depending on if you own a location or not, then you activate its bonus for yourself. That's a unique little.
Also, I saw a lot of it was one of those cards come in there, and I saw a lot of depth kind of popped out of the frame a little bit. Very nice.
Yeah, you can see as look at this as the cards move. It's a lot of parallax and stuff in them.
Yep. Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah, this looks really slick.
Yeah, I have this thing with card games where I have to play it before I actually can understand it.
Oh yeah,
because I'm looking at this, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
With Runeterra one, I was totally like that as well.
Runeterra's a lot of the one I was thinking of, like, what? How does this work? What the hell? Oh man!
If you have 3 other cards here, get +3 power. So then, of course, you'll have to. Yeah. Okay. So I like the area control.
Yeah, it's very like I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess because Hearthstone ended up being very much, well, you've got 2 ways to play. You go for a crazy kind of spell-based kill, or you do something crazy for setup, or board control. Especially in the early day where it was a lot more simple. It's like this idea of like, hey, how do we make board control more interesting?
Yeah, and then like,
what if we have 3 boards?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, let's do
So then Spider-Man shuts down the middle board for the enemy team in the next turn.
Yeah.
Which then means that, in this case, the Avengers compound is secured for the opponent team.
Yeah.
On turn 5. Okay. Man. On
Very
turn 5, all cards must be played here. This is a fucking fascinating little... Because I hadn't looked into this in depth. This actually looks like a really neat innovation for a digital card game. And also, like, it's really just focusing in on the strategy, the tactics, and, like, it's super natural and mobile.
Yeah, I mean...
This looks like... my initial impressions are really positive here.
Yeah, so this is one of the things I think is super interesting. Because obviously, I imagine there's a lot of people who be watching this going, I don't give a fuck about Marvel Snap or Marvel card games or whatever the fuck. But thinking about it from the perspective of someone interested in Blizzard, or interested in maybe, Hearthstone, or, the general goings on, this is, Ben Brode learned all these incredible lessons building Hearthstone, took some of his team, went and made what you would, imagine based on the experience, a better product overall. And that's like, why, could he have built StarCraft Snap if Blizzard didn't kind of lose this talent in a way? That's a bit of a negative way to look at it, because obviously I think it's great to celebrate, the Hearthstone dev learned a lot of lessons, went and made something even cooler. But for like Blizzard, I imagine they're like, fuck, what if Marvel Snap takes away Hearthstone because it's a fun mobile card game? Shit, that's not very good for us. So I think it's interesting that it goes to show Blizzard maybe do have some exceedingly good development talent and all that experience. But that's, I guess, what we see with that's what we see with general AAA at the minute, and a lot of games where it's like, yeah, we're gonna, like, even we were talking about earlier, like, would you want to work for Second Dinner or work for Blizzard?
You want to work for Second Dinner?
Yeah.
Like, sure, Blizzard might have the IP that you grew up with, but
yeah,
might feel better to work at a younger, more nimble company.
Yeah, because you get...
it's like the story of the company.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you kind of go into the corporation that's, all solid and secure, versus, I get to go and, ground floor of a new adventure.
Yeah, you get to go and make Marvel Snap, which is... Well, I saw someone earlier say it looks a lot like the Warhammer 40k Conquest, I think.
By FFG.
Yeah. So maybe it's not quite as unique as it seems, but even if it is sort of unique, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's nice to see these games come out.
Yeah.
And I know this might not be for...
Yeah, that's another point. Yeah, it's the first ex-Blizzard game we see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it just shows us there are loads of really strong devs. They, it takes a few years to make these games, right? These guys formed their studio in 2018. And now, 4 years later, we have a reveal of a game.
Yeah.
Now, you think about it with... it was like Chris and a lot of them over at Notorious, and then there's Lightforge and Frostgiant and like all those companies. Yeah. They're far more recent. They're like mostly last year, right? Yeah. So it's still going to be a few years for them. But we're actually seeing one of the earlier XBliz spin-outs do stuff. It does make you wonder, what's going on with Bonfire? Where's their stuff? What's going on? I don't really know.
Yeah, they may be one of the examples of they're happy enough to not finish a project because they don't really need to, or feel need to, or maybe there's something wrong, who knows. But I was thinking, interesting, because you think, okay, well, you went from Hearthstone to Marvel Snap. What does that mean for, say, the RTS? Is it going to be a RTS built with all of the tremendous experience, and is it going to be like revolutionary and fantastic? Because that's kind of exciting. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, hey, good stuff. I think I just want to know, what's monetization going to be like? Is it going to be that kind of like pay to win style thing where you really do want to have more upgraded cards? So those things will, of course, have to be good. Like there are Marvel branded games out there that basically function, I believe, in the sort of Raid Shadow Legends model, because it's that like format of game. So let's just hope the business model's good, but it looks like a pretty fun game. And certainly the visual presentation just feels like it has a lot of punch and stuff. So pretty cool. Yeah. Good on them. Good on them. And good luck to everyone else who's currently working in their games.
100%. 100%.